I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about that tonight, about doubt and how we overcome it, and what does it look like, and how do we work through that and work past it. So I'm sure you guys have heard the quote, doubt kills more dreams than failure ever will, right? Have you guys ever heard that? You're going to see it if you Google doubt or doubt quotes or quotes about like positive quotes. Doubt kills more dreams than failure ever will. And it sounds maybe cheesy or cliche, but it's not wrong. It's not wrong, man. And usually doubt, we're doubting our ability to succeed, right? When we get to that point where we're like, I don't know if I can do this, we're doubting our ability to have a good outcome or be great at something or get what we want, right? So we're projecting this is what I want out of this situation. This is what I want out of this incentive period or this month or this recruiting conversation. And we kind of cut ourselves off at the knees, and we sort of make up this result without even giving it the opportunity to be a result. But we make up this result and we don't even give it a chance to happen, but we already believe it's going to happen no matter what. And then that we start this cycle of like self-doubt, I'm not good enough, or I don't deserve this, or I can't do this, or whatever. And I think that when we're faced with new things or hard things or challenges, you know, I want to let you know this. Like, I feel like doubt is very normal. It's a very normal thing to feel. And so if you have ever thought any of those things or said any of those things, like, first of all, it's okay. You're not alone. Literally every person on this Zoom, watching on YouTube, has had those thoughts before. And even the people that you look at and you're like, oh my gosh, they're amazing, they're incredible, they just did this, they just did that, they have those same thoughts too at some point. Doubt is literally just uncertainty, okay? And it's usually about ourselves. Tonight I really want to talk about self-doubt and uncertainty about ourselves or our ability or our inabilities to live up to something. That's usually what our doubts stem around. And maybe you're going to have a couple of things in your life where your struggles or your setbacks are sort of external, but almost all the time you can boil it down to what's going on in here. Usually, when we're feeling this way, it's almost always a result of past experience. It's almost always a result of you've gone through something, you've encountered something, and you got this result, some sort of result, and maybe it was hurtful or harmful or didn't live up to your expectation, or maybe it was disappointing, or insert whatever it was here. But that has shaped the way that you view your ability to conquer the next things that come along for you. Usually, this self-doubt, as a result of our past experiences and all the things we've been through in life, it usually tells us one of three things, or sometimes all three things, that we either, number one, we aren't capable of this. I'm just not capable. I can't do this. Or number two, we don't have what it takes personally. Like it's just not how I'm made. It's just not in my DNA. It's just not the way I'm built. I don't have what it takes. Or three, we will fail miserably or be embarrassed. Usually one of those three thoughts is going on in your head with doubt when you're looking at yourself or a situation. Have any of you ever said, like, man, I just can't do that. It's just not who I am. It's just not how I'm made. It's just the way I've always been. It's just the way my parents were. It's just the way I was raised. Right? When we do this, we're literally projecting everything from our past into this future that hasn't even happened yet. And we're not even giving this future part of our life or experience a chance. We're not even giving ourselves the opportunity to flourish or even try, because we're cutting ourselves off before we even begin. And I want to encourage you, your future does not have to be determined by your past or how you were raised or what you think is in your DNA or the way that your parents taught you or circumstances that have happened to you. Your future is not determined by any of those things unless you allow it to be. And there's a quote that I love that's kind of tough, but I kind of love tough love. And it says, if you're not changing it, you're choosing it. And that might be hard to hear. Because sometimes we think this is just happening to us, or this is just a product of our circumstances, or we're products of our environment, or this is just a product of my life or my life experiences. If you aren't changing it, you're choosing it. You have a heck of a lot more power in your life than you really realize. You have a heck of a lot more control over things than you really realize. And a lot of times we allow complete and utter trash to fill our mind and determine our future. And frankly, your future is too valuable. What you have coming for you is way too valuable to let something like a bad past experience or an excuse like it's just the way I am or the way I was raised, basically some BS lie that you're telling yourself or the way your brain is speaking to you, your future is way too valuable to let it be robbed or ripped away from you or not even giving yourself the opportunity to go for it by something so silly. When I think about what's at stake, when I think about what's at stake for my future, my daughter's future, generations to come, it sure as hell is way too risky for me to be believing dumb crap like that about myself, or what I can or can't do, or what is or isn't for me, or what's been predetermined or not. Nothing has been predetermined. You have a heck of a lot more control over what your future looks like than you think. But here's what I want you to know. I need you to know this, and I need you to listen real quick and real close. You will not move. You will not advance. You will not move towards your goal unless you learn how to cope or deal with doubt. There is no habit, no practice, no discipline, no nothing can help you unless you deal with what's going on here and what's going on here. You will never move beyond what you believe you are capable of achieving unless you deal with what's going on here and what's going on here. No system, no schedule, no habit, no discipline, no none of those things, no practice. And all of those things are beautiful and important parts of building a great business and being a successful person. Habits, practices, disciplines, yes, I get it. But they will all fail you at the end of the day if you do not deal with what's going on here and what's going on here. You will eventually succumb to your self-doubt. You will give up. You will give in. You will make excuses. You will make, what's the word I'm looking for? You will make like you'll give yourself like a free pass in this department because you'll be like, oh, well, I'm just cutting myself some slack or giving myself some grace. But you're really just saying that to make yourself feel better about not getting what it is you really want. Don't get me wrong. We're going to talk about giving ourselves grace. Okay? But unless you learn how to cope and deal with what's going on here and here, you're never going to move past what you believe you can really achieve. So let me give you 6 tools that I think can help you overcome doubt and work through these things as you encounter them in your life. Because you're going to encounter maybe a conversation with somebody. Maybe it's a party. Maybe it's a recruit, maybe it's coaching sessions, maybe it's promoting to director or above, maybe it's earning an incentive trip, maybe it's reaching a certain paycheck goal. You're going to encounter something in your life or in your business that you want, but as you make steps to move towards it, doubt will creep in and you'll think at some point, I'm not good enough, I don't deserve this, I don't have what it takes, I'm gonna fail miserably, I'm going to be embarrassed, right? These things are going to happen. So when you get there, here are 6 things you can do to help overcome that. Number 1, look back on where you came from. And this is twofold. You need to, 1, remember who you once were, because likely you're different now, which means you've grown, something in you has changed. Even if it's like one thing that you see growth in, that is so freaking beautiful. Remember who you once were. And number 2, celebrate your accomplishments. Celebrate your accomplishments. Look at anything, even in your past, that you've done or accomplished, or something that you were proud of, or a time that you were brave, and celebrate that and remember that. Number 2, you know this. You know this, but you still do it anyway. Don't freaking compare yourself. You hear me? Don't freaking compare yourself. Stop doing it. It's mind trash. It is mind trash. Comparing yourself. I know you hear comparison is the thief of joy. It's true, but it's so cliche that you don't even believe it anymore. And you've heard that sentence so many times that you don't even really believe that's true. Comparison is the thief of joy. Yes, but how about this? Comparison is a confidence killer. How about that? Is that a better phrase for you? Comparison is a confidence killer. You want to kill your confidence? Go start comparing yourself to someone else. You want to forget who you once were and the growth that you've made and not be able to celebrate your accomplishments? Go compare yourself to someone else. Why are you worried about what they're doing? It doesn't matter. Worry about you. Put your head down. Stay in your own lane. Don't freaking compare yourself. And if that means you need to remove Facebook from your phone, so you're not tempted to scroll and you only have to get onto your computer or get on your iPad, do your work and get out, then do it. If that means you delete Instagram because you've been watching these really pretty people with perfect pictures and seemingly perfect families and beautiful, like everything looks so happy and they really love Jesus, but like deep down inside, they're actually like big old jerks. But you've been comparing yourself to them and like thinking that you're less than or not good enough, because delete Instagram. You don't need it. You can survive without it, as you learned yesterday. For the great Facebook, Instagram blackout. But legit, put things in place in your life and business that protect you from giving yourself the opportunity to compare. That's how you don't compare. It's not that you just all of a sudden wake up one day and you're like, I'm not going to compare myself to all these beautiful people and all these incredible accomplishments and everything everybody's doing. No, you remove the temptation to compare. You remove yourself from even seeing it, okay? I'm going to tell you a quick story that my husband told me one time. There were these 2 men who were working both at the same job, and they were making $20,000 a year, each one of them. Well, man A, we'll call him Josh. Josh got pulled into the office and they said, Josh, you're doing such a great job. We want to give you a raise, and we want to give you a raise, a $10,000 raise, and you're going to make $30,000. Josh is over the moon, so freaking excited, can't believe it, goes home, tells his family, I got a raise, we can finally move into an apartment, blah, 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 all these things. He's so pumped. The other guy, Steven, gets called into the office. Steven, you are doing such a great job. We want to give you a raise. You're going to be making $45,000 a year. They were both making 20, and now Steven's making 45. Steven is so pumped, so excited, can't believe it, goes home, tells his family, would you believe I got this incredible raise? My salary got more than doubled. I'm so excited. I can't believe this. They do the same job. They've been there the same amount of time, 20,000 to 30,000 and 20,000 to 45. Well, Josh comes into work the next day and he's talking with Steven, and he hears from Steven how Steven got this raise to 45,000, and all of a sudden, Josh is no longer thankful for his 30K. He's pissed. he's pissed AF because Steven is making more money than him. He no longer sees the beautiful blessing that he got of that extra $10,000 a year. Instead, he's only focused on the 15 more that Steven is making. And he's bitter about it and he's angry. Do you see how comparison there is the thief of joy with Josh and Steven? Do you see how also it's a confidence killer? Do you think he's going to go into work and confidently do his job? Or do it with excellence? No, he's going to half-ass it because he's pissed that he's not making as much money as someone else. And do you think half-assing his job is going to give him success in the long run? No. Don't compare yourself. Don't freaking do it. Number 3, I'm a huge fan of playing to your strengths. Play to your strengths, which means focus on what you're good at. Focus on what you're good at. Don't look at what you're not great at. We all have things we're not great at. That's what makes the world go around. We all have things we're not great at. That's why everybody has a different job, a different purpose. We all have things we're not great at. So focus on what you're great at and play to your strengths. Let me tell you this, women especially have a super hard time admitting what they're great at. If I were to unmute you and ask you, what are you great at? You'd be like, guaranteed. I don't know, raising my family, cooking. You have a really, more than likely, all of you on this call have women specifically have a very difficult time talking about things that they're great at. So if you are having a hard time finding out what your strengths are, ask your friends. Ask them. Ask your mentor. Ask your upline. Hey, can you help me discover what I'm really great at? When you think of me, what are some things that you think I'm really good at? Ask someone else and then ponder on it, think about it, and decide if, hey, maybe that is one of your strengths. Give yourself the permission, admit it, and then focus on that and play to your strengths. Number 4, fill your life with positive, happy, supportive people so that there's no room for mind trash. Okay? Mind trash. That's comparison. That's negativity. That's complaining. That's mind trash. It's junk, and it has no place in your life. Fill your life with positive, happy, supportive people so that there's no room for that other stuff to even get in. When your life is so full, there's no even space for any of that junk to come in because that junk exists in our world. And you can only avoid it for so long. So what you can do is fill your life up so much with good things that there's no room for bad things. Number 5, get accountable with someone. And not with someone who will commiserate with you. Not with someone who will let you gripe or complain. Not with someone who will commiserate and be like, oh yeah, totally, that sucks. Get with someone who will challenge you. Get with someone who will point you back to number 3, what are your strengths? What are you good at? Number 1, celebrate your accomplishments. Remember who you once were. Number 2, hey, you're comparing yourself. Someone who'll call you out. Get accountable to someone. And then number 6, probably the most important piece of this puzzle. Remember why you are here and don't forget what you're fighting for. For me, and for most people, that's going to be the biggest driver to help you overcome doubt. When you remember what you're fighting for, what you really want, that will give you the passion, the purpose, the excitement, the energy, the drive that you need to overcome any hurdle, including your own brain playing tricks on you and being a jerk. That will give you everything that you need to overcome because you say, this thing that I really want, this thing that I'm fighting for, it is worth me being scared. It is worth me potentially being embarrassed. It is worth me maybe not having what it takes. Remember why you're here and what are you fighting for. And if you don't know, you need to figure that out. Because you can't remember why you're here and what you're fighting for if you don't even really know, if you haven't hammered that out, if you haven't decided what is it that I really want. Don't forget what you're fighting for. And then fight. Go fight for it. Fight for it so hard that no doubt could ever take over. So that no doubt could ever get in your way. Even self-doubt, doubt of others doesn't matter. Remember what you're fighting for and then go fight for it. Go fight for it. Don't forget, these are your goals, not someone else's, not your boss, not your spouse, not your kids, not your family. What is it that you want? Wake up and go get it. Wake up and go get it. Fight for it. Don't let anything stand in your way, even your brain. Your brain is dumb. So true. That's what I have for you tonight. I hope that this was a blessing to you. I hope that this was helpful to you.